gardening and prepping. My name is Teresa. I would like to welcome you into our kitchen on this rainy, stormy evening where I'm going to start me some tomato powder. It's not going to be just the usual tomato powder. It's going to be an herbed tomato vegetable powder. Yeah, for those now, me and Junior are not like this, but if you have family, you have a really hard time getting vegetables in, there's always a sneaky way to do it, and this is one way you can. Now, usually I make my tomato powder with the peels and the cores of tomatoes and such left over after canning tomatoes. Well, like a good person should, you're supposed to keep an eye on your stock of canned goods in your pantry, and I noticed that some of my cans of whole tomatoes are starting to look a little rough. Well, guess what? It's time to use them up before those cans go bad. And I'm going to make tomato powder. Yes, I could recan the tomatoes into jars, but now I'm making tomato powder. So let's have some fun, y'all. And like I said, you can do all kinds of things, add all kinds of different ingredients into this. It's up to you. Now, me and Junior love vegetables. I don't have to be sneaky about it. But this is a cup of my own dehydrated sliced portobello mushrooms and a half a cup of dehydrated celery. All I'm going to do is I'm going to start it in the blender first because I just want to get it into smaller pieces. Yes, I could add it later, but I want the tomato sauce to soak all of that flavor up. And it helps to plug in your blender, y'all. Okay, some of it's powder, some of it's not. Watch out for the dust storm. I'm going to go on and add it into my big measuring cup. I'm not measuring the amount of sauce I'm going to be ending up with. It's just to help keep it where it's pourable. Okay, oh, I forgot. It's about, I ain't gonna worry about that. That was about two tablespoons of dehydrated bell peppers. Now, I might end up adding more, I don't know, but this is one medium onion and 3 big cloves of, well, small cloves of my elephant garlic. I just want to chop them up. Alright, I'm going to wait and add tomatoes to it because it doesn't want to behave. Now, I'm going to be using up several of my 28-ounce cans of whole tomatoes. They're steam peeled and they're in their own juice. Now, these I specifically bought to make tomato powder with because I got them on clearance. They still have a 2-year shelf life on them, but I want to add those. And I have 1 can of tomato paste that's looking rough, so I'm going to add that in there. I'm going to get these cans open and I'll bring you right back. Okay, I got all of those open, and I put one of the 28-ounce cans into the blender already. Alright, basically I want to make sure that all of the tomato gets pureed up, but I don't want it to puree so much that it gets really light colored. That's one thing you got to remember. Once it's dehydrated, you're still going to powder it back up. Oh, this smells good. And this is making me want chips. Okay. We'll add another can of the tomatoes. And make sure you get everything out. Don't waste anything. Let's see, hold on a minute. Okay, now in this batch, I'm going to add some of the tomato paste to give it a more concentrated tomato flavor. Now, this tomato powder can be used for many things. You're sick or you just want some pasta, you can boil your noodles, add a little butter. Once they're strained, add a little butter. Sprinkle your tomato powder on there. It's delicious. You can add it to soups. You can add it to stews. So many things. And this is dehydrated parsley. 3 tablespoons. This is dehydrated dried oregano. I want 3 healthy tablespoons. And like I said, this is herbed tomato powder. You don't have to eat bland food, y'all. And I finally found one of my jars of my basil. Oh, it smells good. Now be careful, basil can be overpowering. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of the basil. And of course, before I start to dehydrate it, I'll taste it, adjust the seasoning, but you got to be careful because herbs can get stronger during dehydrating. And I'm going to put a tablespoon, a good healthy tablespoon of marjoram in there. And you know, I said about, fixing those who don't like vegetables. I want a cup. Woo! Dust storm. A cup of, and this is from an old video of mine where I dehydrated about 40 pounds of spinach, baby spinach. So, you don't have to buy special stuff, y'all. Use what you have in stock. Use what you have in stock. That's a cup of dehydrated spinach. Now this one you got to be careful with. This is ground thyme. Now of course if you got fresh thyme, you can use it. Main thing is don't run out of thyme. I would go harvest some of my fresh thyme, but Yep, I'd look like a drowned rat right now. There we go. That's about a half a tablespoon of powdered Tom. Now, this is another favorite of mine that I made a while back. I dehydrated garlic scapes. Yes, I know I already have 3 cloves of garlic, but yeah, we like our garlic. And I'm using a half a tablespoon measure, so I want a tablespoon of the garlic scape powder. Now listen, y'all. Just because I'm using it doesn't mean you have to use it. Add other herbs that you like. Don't add herbs. You can make it just plain pureed tomatoes and dehydrate it that way. This is black pepper. I'm going to use, about a teaspoon and a half. Make it the way you want it to be. You don't have to do it exactly like I do. Come on. Now I know it's canned tomatoes. I know they're going to have some salt in it. Salt, y'all, is a preservative. I'm going to use a teaspoon, and this is at Redmond's Real Salt. I usually use the pink Himalayan, but that's what I grabbed. Okay. Of course, you're going to have to scrape down. Main thing is you do not want to water it down. The less you water it down, the stronger the tomato flavor will be. And that's what you're going for. You don't want to water it down. Of course, right now it looks more green, but I still got all those cans of tomatoes to add to it. Okay. Now, I'm not going to add anything extra to it, but I'm going to go on and finish pureeing these tomatoes up. I'll bring you back when I'm done pureeing them up. And of course, everything I use will be in the description box below. So I'll see you back here in a bit. Oh, let me tell you, this smells and tastes so good. I'll tell you, if I had some nacho chips, I'd be busy right now. But I ended up having to use a stock pot. No, do not cook your powder. I had to have a stock pot to put the rest of it in. Now, before I poured it back into here, you stir it real good. Now, other vegetables that you could add to it, zucchini. You can use dehydrated or fresh. Yellow squash, eggplant, so many different vegetables. Make it your own or leave vegetables out. It's up to you. Now, I have my dehydrator down. Now this is important. You're going to need some kind of mat so that basically you're making tomato fruit roll-ups in a way. And this is a silicone mat. I love these. And all you're going to do, now you might could get away with using parchment paper. Don't use wax paper. You're just going to gently pour it in. You do not want to overfill your trays, not whatsoever. Yeah, I know. I said don't overfill them. And it looks like I have. So I'm going to take some out. Basically what it is you want it level with the rim of the silicone mats. You don't want to overfill them like I did. But it's not hard to fix your mistakes and learn from them. Because the last thing you want is this to go back up into your dehydrator. Okay, it looks like I have corrected it best I can. And I'm going to keep filling up trays as I go. And there's a good chance I'm going to be making several batches of this because, well, I have figured out that I think about five of my mats are missing, so they were either in the vehicles that got stolen or they got left behind. Which is aggravating as can be because I could use all them mats. And of course, there is a lot of moisture in this, so just be prepared. It's going to take a while for this to dehydrate. Alright, I'm going to finish filling my other uh, mats up and I will bring y'all back. Okay, I got as much as I could get filled up. I got 5 mats full. So I've got enough to do probably 5 more mats. But look how beautiful that is. Just imagine, this is going to be amazing, healthy for you and your family herb tomato powder. Now, this is a long process. Don't think that this is just going to be done overnight. There's a good chance it's going to take at least 24 hours for these to dry. This jar that I have left over is going in the fridge until I can finish this batch and start this batch. So I'm going to set it for 12 hours. I know that's not going to be long enough. I'm going to set it at 135, and in 12 hours time I'm going to check on it. I will rotate the trays, put the top tray on the bottom, and work my way up. But y'all don't think this is going to be quick. It's going to take a while. There's a lot of juice to dehydrate out of it. You also got to look at the weather around you. It's raining now, so the air is going to be saturated. So, yeah, I will let you know exactly how long this first batch takes, and I will bring y'all back when the second batch is done, and then we have fun powdering it up. So, I will see y'all later on. Okay, welcome back. This just finished the second batch. That's what the first batch looks like. Now you understand, when you dehydrate, things shrink down way more than you think they will. I knew it was going to do this, but this is the first batch, 18 hours. This one's gone 18 hours. So I ended up with, you saw how much tomato sauce and everything I made. I ended up with 9 trays, 9.5, 1, 2, 3, no, 8.5 trays. And see, yep, I'm going to finish it for a couple of hours in the oven to make sure that it's good and dry. I love these silicone mats, I really do. They're not just for making fruit roll-ups, y'all, for many other wonderful uses. And you can see how much that really shrinks down. Alright, I'm going to work on that one. But see, that was a full mat. And you see how it shrinks down. But this is going to be some intense, delicious herbed tomato powder. You want to make sure you get everything out. This is really good and dry, but I want to make absolute sure that it's dry. So I got a parchment paper lined cookie sheet here. And make sure you get all of it off those trays. Or those mats, I mean. There was another complete full tray. You can see how it pulls right off. Oh, and it's such an intense flavor, aroma. You won't have to use much. If you don't feel like making tomato sauce for pasta, you just cook your pasta till it's done. Add a little butter to it, a couple spoonfuls of this, and it's going to be amazing. This is amazing in soups, on so many so many things. Of course, I'm going to clean these mats off better. Let's see. It's surprising that that was a full tray. But we all know how much liquid tomatoes have. But all of that liquid is in condensed form now. Alright, now, you see there's plenty still on that mat. I want to get it all off. But I'm not going to make y'all sit there and watch me get it completely cleaned off. And I'm going to put this tray, once I get those cleaned off, in the oven. I'm going to spread it out a little bit. I've got my oven now preheated to the lowest setting it goes, which is 170 for my oven. And I'm going to let it go for about 2 hours because I want to make sure that they are completely dry. And then once it's gone for a couple of hours in the oven, I'm going to bring it out, let it acclimate, and I'll bring y'all back, and we're going to powder this wonderful herbed tomato vegetable powder up. I'll see you here after a while. Welcome back. Alright, I am finally done dehydrating all of the tomato sauce, of which is now turned into quite a bit of dehydrated herbal tomato powder. Look at that. And this is what you want to see. Crispy dry. So, the verdict is the first big batch took about 19 hours. The second batch took about 16 because it was smaller. But that is that big, well, about 3/4 of that stock pot. Now you see why you have to dehydrate so much. With that being said, I'm going to see if this little guy will powder it up. If not, I'll use the big blender. It just powders. That's what you want. You want it absolutely dry. And let me tell you, oh, it smells so good, y'all. Smells so good. Okay. Gonna close it up. And we're gonna hope this little one is powerful enough to do it. Dust storm, so watch out. Oh, yeah. Oh my gracious, it smells good. Oh, that smells good. And of course, have a clean, dry jar to store it in. Oh, yes. Look at that. Pure, rich. Oh, that is going to taste so good. Keep your jar closed so humidity doesn't get in. And I'm going to continue to powder this all up. And I will bring y'all back as soon as I'm done. I'm going to be here for a little while. See you here in a bit. Okay, I am done. I'm not going to lie, that took a while. But I have a full pint jar and 3/4 of a half pint, also long jelly jar. Now, this goes to show you things dehydrate down a whole lot. Just to think, this was 3/4 of my stock pot. Now, with that being said, this is very condensed, extremely strong. You don't have to use a whole lot. A little bit goes a long way. Soups mixed on buttered cooked pasta. Sprinkle it on salads. Now you want to label it. Herbed tomato veggie powder. 1224. Running out of room. Okay. Now, of course, I will start to use the smaller jar first. If you want to, you can vacuum seal them. Vacuum seal the bigger one, put it back for storage. Now, you don't have to do as much as I did. I just had a bunch of jars and some more jars I need to do, but I'm going to do them at a different date. And I'm going to mix things up a little bit. I'll bring you back for that one. But look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Homemade. You know exactly what goes into it. There's no preservatives. There's no fillers. There's nothing artificial. You know exactly what's in it. Now, I will have in the description box below the video the list of what I put into it. Now, what I did forget to mention is, yes, I dehydrated them, but I finished truly drying them in my oven, set at the lowest setting, which was 170, and it was about 2 hours. And that got them good, crispy dry. Simple, easy. Now, I did use this one, but I finished it off with the blender because the blender has bigger, sharper blades. So, they might not be too sharp after now. But look at that. Look at that. That is going to be amazing. Tablespoon in soup here and there. Meatloaf. It can go into meatloaf. If you want to, you can add even more veggies in it. For, those people that don't like vegetables, you can be sneaky. Now, thankfully, me and Junior love our vegetables. And that's why I loaded up what I could. But the sky's the limit on which herbs, seasonings you want to put in it, what herbs, what spices you want to. You can just do plain tomato and then mix with a good bouillon that doesn't have MSG or soy in it. You can make it a tomato chicken. You could add even more vegetables to it. Make it your own. Just remember, you don't have to cook the vegetables if you don't want to. None of mine were cooked. Some were already dehydrated, and I either used them dehydrated or I reconstituted some of them. But, yeah, and I don't even know if I added salt. I'm going to have to go back. You don't have to add salt if you don't want to, but it is a preservative. Remember that much. Simple, easy, homemade, and you can see what you end up with. So if you use a small batch, just remember you might not get a whole lot because it dehydrates down a lot, y'all. Simple, easy, homemade, and you can do it. You just got to believe in yourself. Hope this video encourages you to make your own seasonings. Important. This can be stocked back on your shelf. Now, if it hardens up, you can break it up, put it back into the blender or a coffee grinder that hasn't been used on coffee and powder it back up. It's easy to do, y'all. You can do it. Just believe in yourself. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Continue to stock up your pantries with food that will nourish and sustain you, and seasonings, because you're going to get tired of plain food. And you shouldn't be eating plain food anyway. Not good for you. Continue to stock up on medicinals that will heal you. This can also be considered a medicinal for what you put into it. What you put into it comes back to your body. Feed your body well. Protection of all kinds and the bare essentials to survive on. Everyone, take care. May you each be blessed. Please stay safe, sound, and warm and dry during this cold weeks ahead. May you each be blessed. Hoot hoot. Love y'all. See you soon.